So back in the day with the Game Boy Advance, this was one of my favorite Game Boy Advance games. I remember seeing this in Nintendo Power back in the day. I probably should have picked out the Nintendo Power over there. I still have them. That I saw Golden Sun in. I'm like, man, this looks awesome. This looks like the coolest thing ever, right? And so I went and got it, and it was one of my first Game Boy Advance games. First, like probably RPG I played on there. I don't really count Battle Network, but I played that on there first, really. But yeah, Golden Sun was like one of my favorite fucking RPGs, like on the Game Boy Advance. And it was amazing. It was great. It's really just one of my favorite RPGs ever. In terms of in RPG franchises. It's kind of except for Dark Dawn, I really loved that whole series. So, like it's great. It's amazing. It's fantastic. I love it. So it colored me surprised when I find out that this meme game for me, this game that I bought because you can see it, you think, oh cool, it's like one of those like double disc kind of games. That's why I bought it, was to replace a case. But if you look, it says right there, one disc. Look on the side. One disc. Like, what the fuck? So, like, you look inside, and it's like, oh, that's not a real thing. And then you flip over to the other side. If I can flip over there. And you got, the disc. And there's only one disc. Which is weird for, like, a PS1 RPG. You'd think, like, this big, massive kind of, like, RPG would be on multiple discs. But it's not. It's just on one disc. And it's impressive what they fit in this one disc. I mean, you're looking at the equivalent of like a really well done Super Nintendo RPG right here, basically, but like utilized with some PS1 aspects. Like it's great. Beyond the Beyond is fantastic, and I learned about this game from Johnny Millennium, from, ironically enough, games he didn't like video, games he hated video. Because he never got through the opening of the game or whatever. And then later on he gets through the opening of the game and he's like, oh, it's actually pretty good. So I'm like, I picked it up as a meme thing, like, because of that and because of the fact that I thought it was going to be a 2-disc thing so I could replace the disc. But no, it's not. I don't even remember why I wanted to replace the disc. I just thought, okay, whatever. But yeah, lo and behold, all this time later, I actually play the game, and I thought, oh, it's just going to be kind of a standard RPG. And at first, you think that it is. You think that it's just kind of a standard, turn-based RPG from its era, sort of a Super Nintendo thing, just any old generic RPG. But you get a little bit farther into it, and a lot of cool things start happening. You get to your first battle, and you see, oh my god, the battle system's just like Golden Sun, and it's like, so why am I referencing Golden Sun all these times? Because it's made by the same people. It's made by Camelot, who, is they're the Golden Sun people. Like, they did some Mario sports games and stuff. Like, nobody cares about that. Camelot did Golden Sun. And you know what they did before Golden Sun? They did Beyond the Beyond, which is comparable in quality to one of those Golden Sun games. Like, it's not quite as good as the first Golden Sun, but like, maybe it's on par with like the second one. It's at least better than Dark Dawn, which I don't remember if they made or not, but it's a lot better than that one. This game is really good, and you get to your first battle, like I was saying, and you realize, oh my god, the graphics look just like Golden Sun, and then the rest of it's kind of like this old school, like, Super Nintendo, NES, like, era looking RPG, just really sharp and everything. It really looks good, but the graphics are pretty good for the game. The sprites and all the character designs and stuff are pretty great and that kind of stuff. But the game itself, it gets, you feel like it's just kind of a regular RPG, and then like you start getting all these characters, and every time you get a character, there's like these new moves and all sorts of stuff, just like any other RPG really. But the appeal is that, it has that same Golden Sun feel to it, and it's just really well done. It's a really great and fun game to play. It's got all the same stylings as Golden Sun, and a lot of the same moves and that kind of stuff. You can see all the influences, going through it. So for Golden Sun fans, it's a treat for them, to go through this pretty much this predecessor to Golden Sun, this Beyond the Beyond, which is really great. and you know, you have your main character. You know, it's like the story's okay, like it's all right, but you know, you see a lot of parallels to Golden Sun. If you've played Golden Sun, you know, you see like there's the two bad guy characters. One's a guy, one's a girl, and they eventually lead to a bigger bad. And at the very end, you know, that they're kind of the pawns to these bigger people. You know, you chase them down throughout the world. You know, in Golden Sun, you're going throughout the lighthouses and stuff, and like Golden Sun definitely has a better story, a more well rounded story, and a more well like fleshed out narrative. But this game, it's about its characters. You know, it's about how they experience these trials that you're going on. It's more of a personal story, really. You're trying to stop these people from kind of taking over these territories that mean something to you and your friends. And like half the game is you trying to just like get this curse off your best friend or whatever, who's like protecting this prince, and they won't like believe that this prince is like the real prince until you get this other guy who's got the curse to like not have the curse, who can lift this giant boulder. That's just like, you know, this personal journey. You go on all this stuff. You do all these caves and all this stuff. It's insane how much stuff you do, and then you get the curse off. And you know, he's been a strong character up until that point, but like he'll lose a turn every now and then because of the curse. But then like as soon as you get the curse off, it's like super gratifying. You're like, yes, man, this is great. And then that's kind of where it starts opening up. You get more characters and stuff, and all the characters are great, and they all have their own purpose, you know, and you could switch out characters like pretty late into the game, like, you know, like maybe like 3/4 of the way into the game, you get like all these optional characters that you can get back there, like L'Oreal is like my favorite character, and her defense spell, don't sleep on that, because that's like super important, especially with the final boss. I wouldn't have beaten the final boss without her defense spell. Let's talk about the final boss. I don't want to get into too many spoilers, but geez, I mean, that takes forever. The boss fight goes on for fucking ever, and like seriously, like there was a counter on all the guides, and in my guide, I actually have the guide to by the way, the Beyond the Beyond, like this is the unofficial guide, but they never made an official guide, so this is the as official as you get. It's a pretty decent guide. It's pretty cheap. You can get it. But it says that the boss has like 4,200 HP, which is like massive. It's like more than anything has ever been in this game. The biggest bosses until that point were right before him, where you fight the two guys that are kind of like Stratus and whatever the other girl's name was in Golden Sun. Who've been the big bads this whole time, and you like get there, they each have like there's one that's like 1,900, and there's like I don't know, I think one's has got like 1,200 or something, so like the bigger one has 1,900, and you know, you kill them both, and you're like, oh, well, that was pretty satisfying. And then you get to the other guy, and he's got like 4,200 HP or whatever, and you're like, whoa, and he does like way more damage, and he's like way more intimidating. He's like a fully fledged monster, and it's so badass. It's like the fight in Golden Sun, I think 2, where there's like the 5-headed dragon guy, and you're like switching out your characters and stuff. You can't do that in this game, but like, God, you remember that shit? It was so epic in Golden Sun 2 when you do that. That was like the best part of that game, is like you get all your original party members from the first game when you link up you link up the cables or whatever on the Game Boy Advance, and you get all of the original Digins and Digins. They're called Jins, alright? But I call them Digins or whatever, because there's a D on the front back of it. You get all the original Jins that you collected from the first game, so it's like, it's amazing. And then you get to this like 5-headed dragon at the end of the game, and you like switch out party members and shit. Well, this is kind of like that, except it's not like that. I just thought of that. I'm just like, man, that's amazing. You know, but this boss is cool. It's like, you know, you go in with your party, whichever ones you chose, because there's like 2 or 3 optional members that you have to like keep at different places and stuff, which is cool. It's weird because they're actually like part of the fast travel system or whatever. You're like sitting there like, okay, well, how do I fast travel? Well, I can ride on the dragon and stuff, or I could like go on the boat and stuff. But it's like, no. And then you got this giant like pyramid thing that you fast travel with. This is all like in the like last fourth of the game or something. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so you're sitting there at the final boss, and like you've gotten there with all your guys, and you just fought these other 2 guys, and you're like beat up and shit, and you're like, all right, well, I just gotta fight this final boss. And it's like 4,200 HP. Fuck that shit. They're wrong. They're fucking wrong. That boss has like 7,000 HP. Like, seriously. Like, I don't know. I calculated. I do this sometimes. Like on bosses, I'll sit there with an actual calculator, and every time damage is done, I'll take the number off, you know? I do it on my computer or whatever. And it's like, I sat there and I got to 4,000. I'm like, oh, okay. So like in the next few turns here, he should be dead, right? No, it just kept going for like another fucking half hour of just, it felt like a half hour. It's probably like another 15 to 20 minutes or something, or like 10 minutes of that. But I don't know, it just took forever. And I was just like, what the fuck is going on here? But it was like the most epic battle, and like wasted all my resources. It was so cool. It was like the coolest thing. And like, the other bosses are fine. They're pretty okay. I don't even remember most of them. There's like one that it's like guarding this water thing. I think he was made of water, like chaos or something. I don't remember. The final boss though is really fucking epic. The dungeons in this game are really cool too. They're a little bit confusing sometimes, but they've got all these cool gimmicks. Like there's this one where you like, it's kind of like the Minish Cap. You like become bigger and smaller and shit. It's so cool. And then like, there's a tree dungeon, just like in Golden Sun. It's the same fucking thing as Golden Sun, the first Golden Sun where you're going through the trees or whatever. It's the same thing, and it's so fucking uncanny, like how similar it is. You just can't even. It's so cool, and the party members, they're all their moves are so cool, and you have like all this shit. Oh man, it's such a great game. It's such a hidden gem. Yes, 2 dudes in the nest. It's a hidden gem. It's a gem. But no, but yeah, it's such a great game. It's really good. You should definitely go and pick it up. It's cheap too, as far as I know. It's like I got it for like $10 at Disc Replay, and the guide was like 15 or something. I think my friend actually got this one for me, but I looked online. It's like not expensive at all. Like you can get this game for cheap. You gotta get this game. You gotta pick it up, especially if you're a fan of Golden Sun. You gotta get this one. It's really good. And it feels a little bit slow at some parts, but like, it's really not that long. I mean, it's pretty beefy for an RPG. I'd say I spent like 40 hours with it just because I did a lot of grinding and stuff. Yeah, which I don't think is really necessary. I think it's kind of optional, but yeah, if you want to grind, you can, and they make it a good, they make good places to do that and everything, and you get a lot of cool equipment and that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's really customizable. It's so good. And the music, God, how did I not mention the music yet? The music, it feels like Golden Sun. I know, I keep saying that, but it's like, the music in Golden Sun was really great. It's so spectacular, but this music is like on par with that, like it's just great. It's so fucking good. The music is fantastic, and it makes you feel all the moments of the game. There's like all this cool stuff. You got all these cool plays. It's so good. It's the classic kind of turn-based RPG for the PS1. You got to play it. It's really good. I give Beyond the Beyond an 8.7 out of 10 because it's that good. Go play it now. Yeah. So this has been JZNES saying keep it classic, and stick around for more reviews and underrated games, and I'll see you in the next one. JZ